Good afternoon, folks. This is Sam Kofer, licensed realtor with Exit Right Realty. I have with me my brother from another mother, Mr. Stephen Michael Washington.
What's up, man?
Officer for Loan Depot. What's up, Stephen? How's it going, man?
Going well. How about yourself, brother? You doing all right today?
I'm doing great. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, Stephen Michael Washington. I've been in the mortgage business for 17 years. Well, it'll be 17 years towards the end of this year. Born and raised in the state of Tennessee. I currently reside in Birmingham, Alabama. Wife and children, and just trying to stay alive during this period of time. So all is well.
I hear you. Now, people might be wondering, I work with a lot of loan officers. They might be wondering why I'm talking to somebody all the way down in Alabama. But if you don't understand, you got to understand that me and Stephen go way back. We got connections outside of the industry. Okay?
Tell him, Sam.
So that's why I want my brother on the line. But Stephen, let me ask you this, man. How'd you get into this business?
Man, I fell into it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I was working at Single Wireless about 18 years ago, and there was a guy that I worked with. He was talking about the mortgage industry, and his cousin that lived in Texas was going to mortgage school, was going to make a whole bunch of money. And when I told him, I said, well, when you go, I want to go too.
Okay.
And one day he kind of up and left. Didn't hear from him, but he had planted a seed. I, started to look through the newspapers for the loan ads. We didn't have, you didn't have Google back then.
Right.
So, looked through the loan ads, was looking for a job in the mortgage industry.
Mm-hmm.
Finally found one that would take me with no knowledge off the street. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of, I heard money and making a lot of it. And I was kind of chasing that. And that's kind of how I got into it. And then I had a rebirth, so to speak, which is when I really got into the mortgage industry, and that was more so about 12 years ago. So
okay. So it sounds to me like the thing that drove you when you first started is different from what drives you now. Is that right?
That is true.
So what drives you now?
11, 9, 7, 6, and 2.
Those are his kids, folks. I hear you, man. I hear you. So let me ask you this. Why did you choose Loan Depot? And why do you think current customers of Loan Depot choose Loan Depot? And since there are so many loan companies out here, why should a potential customer choose Loan Depot?
Those are easy questions. First and foremost, why I did. There's two things that came together for me in regards to Loan Depot. One, I feel that it's very important for individuals to be able to work in an environment that is conducive to what they believe and what they stand for. To be able to uphold your values and what you believe, regardless of where you are. We have this idea that, you live this life at home, but you got to be private and not live that same life at work because of whether it's fear of, mistreatment or discrimination or whatever the case may be. Where I feel that the walk that you walk should be walked wherever you are and not limited to the four walls that you live in. So that's important. The second thing is leadership. Leadership is important, and for those that say it doesn't matter because I'm my own person and I determine what I make and all of that great stuff, which is fine. But leadership are the ones that are driving the decisions of the company. So it's important to make sure that those that you are working for align with the things that you believe in, so that the decisions that they make will fit what you believe in. Like those things have to line up, and that happens for me here. And then you add on all the bells and the whistles, which leads to why customers choose Loan Depot and why customers should choose Loan Depot. And it's just as simple as this. It's the ease of the digital platform. the automated notifications of updates and things that are going on with the file, the resources, and most of all, the people. The people that work here are just people that you enjoy being with and that you enjoy working with. And so it's like, I'm a manager, so when I'm hiring, it's really about, are these people that I see myself hanging out with after hours, that I see myself, having lunch with or having dinner with? Am I going to fellowship with them on a higher level than just work? Because at the end of the day, you want work to be an extension of home, because we're here more than we are at home in certain aspects. So the family atmosphere, all of that, it makes it an amazing place to work at, and also a great company to be in partnership with, whether it's a realtor or a client their loan being worked on for. So it's just a great place to be.
Awesome. Well, obviously we're in two different parts of the country. You're in the southeast portion of the country, and I'm more so in the mid-Atlantic area. What are you seeing in the industry down there? Because up here, I know from my own personal business, we've still been getting loans approved. We've still been getting purchasers to, be able to close on homes, and sellers are still putting their homes on the market. What are you seeing in Alabama, in Tennessee?
Nothing different. I think that's a national experience. I don't think there is a market that is any different than the other. There are some pockets where things are difficult.
Sure.
But that's more of a socio-economic thing than it is regional.
Okay.
But what we are experiencing is something that you should know, that our region actually encompasses, the region that I operate in also encompasses Virginia and Maryland.
Okay, nice.
I have front row seats as to what's happening in those markets as well, because we discuss our markets in a holistic viewpoint. And sales are up, our applications are up, and not just refis. Of course, the refi boom has hit.
Sure.
But the purchase market is up. The increase of application for new home purchases is over what we had predicted and prepared for as a market. So the low interest rates have done several things. It has, one, gotten people off the fence that were maybe at one point in time hesitant or maybe concerned, or they weren't going to at this point in time, and was going to maybe put it off until the end of the summer or whatnot, that are now saying, hey, I need to take advantage of these low interest rates and get in the game and buy now.
Right.
And I think that's what we are experiencing. That's what we're seeing. It's no different than that suit that you want, and you're waiting for it to go on sale. And when it goes on sale, hey, you're hitting the stores and trying to find your size.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now. In essence, houses have gone on sale, because you can borrow that money at a very low rate, and people are hitting up the sale. I believe that's what's happening in the market right now, and it's hard to say what's going to happen down the road. Right.
Let me ask you, what advice would you give a potential home buyer who can't get approved right now? With the industry increasing the credit score that you have to have in order to be approved, what would you suggest to someone who's not quite there yet?
Don't give up hope.
Okay.
Don't give up hope. You've come this far. Don't turn around. Every client that I deal with who have credit challenges, or maybe income challenges, or maybe limited funds, whatever the case may be, it's a message of hope in our conversation of what we talk about and what we discuss. So I give them applicable items to apply and take hold of and to continue to do. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's simple as this. I'm never telling anybody no. I'm telling you not right now, but then I'm giving you items to take care of and to do. And if you follow through and you do them, then it will happen for you. And then at the end, it's simple as this. You control it. You control it. If you want a house, then do the things that's necessary in order to get it. If you don't, then don't do it. But at the end of the day, don't give up hope. That's what you don't want to do.
That's what I find is what's more important. Just because we can't get approved right now, doesn't mean that we won't ever get pre-approved, or be able to qualify. I mean, this is the time where you got to set your priorities in order. And if a house is what you want, you got to do what's necessary to get you to that point where you can get approved and be able to be in a position to purchase. But, I would say the same thing. Don't stop now. You've come too far to, look back. Do this, man. Give us a feel-good story of how you've been able to help somebody, get approved. Kind of dovetailing off of what we just talked about, as far as someone maybe not being able to get approved, and then you being able to work with them. And give us a little story about that.
I have a ton, so I
just give us one.
But I know we only have time for one. Yeah. So I'll keep it short. In honor of veterans, I will share this one. Okay. I had a veteran come to me, it was about a little over a year ago, and his wife had cancer. She was in remission at the time. But basically what happened to him is a few things. One, he served in Vietnam, and when he went to Vietnam, his ex-wife had foreclosed on the house, had left him. So when he came back from the war, he came back to a foreclosed house and a divorce. I just set that over there. That's relevant later. Yeah. Fast forward to now, his wife, they're from Ohio. And so they had went to Ohio, and his wife had gotten sick. And her cancer had come back, and it was advanced. And it was so bad that the doctors had told them that she needed to operate immediately. She did not need to travel back to Alabama. She needed to stay in Ohio and have the surgery done. So he was the only income, and he had to keep his job to cover for the insurance. So he was traveling back and forth from Ohio and Alabama, checking on her, taking care of her, but also working as well. So they maxed out credit cards. They got behind on some stuff. There was medical bills, things of that nature. So his credit was, it was below average. Sure. It wasn't that well. And so his credit wasn't that good. It was a 555, but he had been current on all of his debt for the past year. And, for the most part, he had come out of those issues in regards to his wife. He had a foreclosure, of course, and it was a VA loan. So there's a crazy rule with VA when there's a previous loss that you cannot borrow less than $144,000. Well, we was under contract for $143,000. We was under contract for $139,000.
Okay.
The house appraised for $145,000.
Oh wow.
So I went to the realtor and I said, this is not going to make any sense, but just follow me. I need you to raise the sales price to $145,000. And he said, well, what are we going to do with the closing costs? What are we going to do about the $6,000 difference? I said, change the closing costs and add it to what the seller is paying. He said, the seller can pay that much? I said, absolutely. And so what we did for this veteran is it was a total of $9,000. We brought his interest rate down. We paid off all of his debt, paid off all of his collections. So he bought a house and walked away debt-free. All he had was his mortgage, and then put $900 in his pocket because we gave him back his earnest money and part of his appraisal fee. And that probably was one of the most recent, greatest feelings.
Absolutely.
Because you had somebody, it was the true story of someone going through something and not being punished for it.
Yeah.
And then we were able to put them in a so much better situation than what they came to me in. And it was great. And then he was a veteran. He had served our country in one of the darkest times in our history, a war that many didn't believe that we should have been in. Yeah. And so, it was great.
Man, that's an excellent story. That's an excellent story. I mean, and those are the types of things that kind of make me feel good, and why I'm in the industry as well, man. I mean, being able to help people who they may not think that they can be helped, or they think that their situation is much worse than what it really is. I mean, and when you're able to overcome the necessary obstacles that's there, and they're able to sign on the dotted line and close on their home, there's no feeling like it, man. No feeling like it.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Now let's go to the flip side.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have any horror stories?
Horror stories.
Yeah.
The horror stories is the unpredictable. The things that you cannot prevent, things that you don't see coming. People get in bonds sometimes, and I had a buyer that they had to buy a car, and I given specific instructions of these are the things you don't do.
Yeah.
We have that conversation and we talk about
don't buy a car.
And so we're a couple of days before closing, and I had just gotten off the phone with both of the realtors and telling them, yeah, we're ready to close and this, that, and the other, et cetera. And we pull our final reports. We verify employment. We pull fraud guard. We pull what we refer to as an inquiry update. Sure. And that's basically where we check to see if there's any new inquiries or if any of the inquiries have turned into transactions or actual debt.
Mm-hmm.
I get an email from my processors and it simply said, "We got a problem."
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
you're
what?
From closing, man.
Yeah. And she goes, "Hey, so did you know that so-and-so bought a car?" I said, no, there's no way that she bought a car. I know she didn't buy a car. We had conversations about this car, and I told her, don't buy the car.
Right.
And she said, well, she bought the car. I said,
oh my gosh.
No. Hey man, and it's always the borrower that, is like already tight. We've jumped through hoops after hoops of getting them approved and, finagling this and putting this there and putting that there. It's always that individual. And so we had to come back and rework some things. And it just seemed like there was every corner that we turned, there was always something that would come up. And we eventually got it done. We got it closing. But man, it's the horror story is when you, in other words, make a promise. Hey, we're going to close, and you got to turn around and retract that.
Yeah.
Your word is your bond, and so that's what makes it a horror story. Dealing with the actions of others is one thing, but the actions of yourself and what you say, because whenever you say something, you want it to come to fruition. You want it to happen. So that was the struggle.
Wow.
But those things happen.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. Well, look, man, I'm not gonna hold you too much longer, but I appreciate you coming on. Tell us how we can reach you, man.
So you can reach me several different ways: text, call, email 205-937-7685. My email address is swashington@loandepot.com. Website is www.loandepot.com/swashington. That's how you can find me. So if you need anything, call me. I answer any questions, help you any way I can.
Awesome, and we'll put that information on the video so everybody can have Stephen's information. But look, man, I appreciate your time, man. I know you gotta get back to them kids.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you, man. Take care. Until
good
next
to see
time,
you too, my brother.
Hopefully in August, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right, my brother.
Take care.
All right, man.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.